In this demonstration, I'll show you how to install the great Joomla CCK extension Cobalt. First, we have to download all required elements. So let's go to download section of our website. Let's go to Cobalt. By the way, this section is powered by Cobalt too. And you have to download this Cobalt package. Click this link. You have to download Media Pack. Click this link. And you have to download IP to country database. Click this link. Let's open Joomla and open Extension Manager. Let's browse. You can install one pack by another pack. The order of installation doesn't actually matter, so you can install it in any order. The Cobalt pack will install all the required elements like modules, plugins, fields, all which is free. And you can see the report here, everything that was installed. And now we go to the next package. In this one, Media Pack and IP to country database. This is the biggest pack. It may take the longest to install. Okay, now installation is finished. There is another important thing to understand. It's a cron task to send alerts. The Cobalt doesn't send alerts like it doesn't use PHP mail or Joomla mail functions on page reloads because it takes time and it can overload the server. So we use the smart email sending mechanism, and to enable this mechanism you can follow this instruction. You can read this instruction on our site. Go to community and knowledge, and then you will find the Cobalt install and update article. Now, as we installed all these important elements, we can go to components and Cobalt 7 configuration. This is the first thing to start with, because it required to save this required parameter, its upload directory, and it's already created for you, the uploads. The only thing left is to click save. So nothing to do here like configuration or anything. You can of course check it, you can of course see what's available, but it's not required. Everything by default will just work perfectly. So now let's start to create the Cobalt section. The first thing I believe to do, we have to create the menu. Let's create the new menu for top item. Let it be right now. It's a simply text separator. Let's call it blog, for example. Let's save it. Now we have this. Let's switch to top menu. So now we have this blog section. We have ID. It's 488, and we have alias blog. So this is the something we will need while set up the Cobalt section. Now let's go to the Cobalt and start with creating a type. So the type creation is very easy. We just create one new type. We just enter the name and one important parameter here is the item menu item ID, and we set here just what we created. This is the block item, and this category limit, some people misunderstand it. They start to add categories here because they want this type to be posted there, so it's not required. By default, this type will be allowed to any category of the section, and this parameter is useful only when you want this type in some particular categories only, and not to be allowed to other categories of the same section. Nothing to do special here. The only one thing is important is submission parameters. You have to understand that Cobalt does not provide functionality to create new records from backend. It's a completely front-end operation, and you have to keep it in mind. So if you want the section which is not utilized by users, so I mean that users cannot post in this section, you have to set this special access to submit, and then you only will be able to submit articles to the section. But if you want other users to submit, you can choose public or registered, whatever you want. We will just choose registered. Another important thing to consider is categories behavior. There are some parameters, but most important is this one, who can select category. If you don't plan your section to be categorized, just the section, no categories, then you just selected no one. We set it this way because we will not create any category. That's it, and we can save and close. Now we have to create some fields. We click on this fields link, go to the fields, and we create the new field. This is the field general parameters. Most important of them, this show inter and show full. If you want this field to be shown in the list of the records, and if you want this field to be shown in the full article view. So we will leave it as it is. So now let's say the post, and we will use text area. So our parameters will be like width, height, everything in place. We just make this a little bit higher when it grows. So we support markdown and all the rest by default. Another thing is that on the form, okay, I'll skip it now and I'll then show you what actually happens. So right now I save it like it is. So I save it. We have created our type. You can add as many fields as you want. There are a number of great, incredible fields created for you for the Cobalt. You can check all of them in download section. So, and we will continue with creating a section. Let me create a new section. In the section, one important thing to consider is also this item ID target parameter. So we also set it to blog. You may think it's redundant, we set it here and we set it there, but later you may discover it's a very excellent parameter. You can set one modulus for the section view and different set of the modulus when you, especially on the article view. You can play with these item ID parameters really much, and you can create a great result of your website. An important thing also is to select the parameter here to content we just created, content type. So it's very important to select it here, otherwise it will not appear on our page. So the next step is we create a section name. Let's create it also block. Section title blog. Alias will be created automatically. And then we save and close. So that's it. We can proceed to create the categories, and categories have a nice also interesting features in it, in the parameters. You can discover it. But let me briefly show you just, I will not create, I will just show you parameters and I'll explain one of these. For example, this one allows submit to this category. For example, you have two level categories and you want people to submit only to the second level, and the first level of categories be only the group of the categories of the second level. So this is how you can achieve it. You can set allow submit to this category to no to the first level and yes to the second levels. Another interesting parameters is article item ID override. So you can set the different item ID for the article inside this particular category. That's great. This is incredible in terms of setting your modulus. For example, let me show it how it works. For example, here in our download section, we go to our fields, the special fields, and when we navigate inside the field, you can see this modulus. And this modulus because it's a different item ID, and this modulus only when I show the fields. For example, if I go back, I'm going to Cobalt, and I open Cobalt page. You don't see any modulus here, but actually it's the same type, but these types inherit different item ID. So you may set the special set of the modulus in the particular categories only. So this is the great feature also. Actually, all parameters here are great. You will find them very useful and very practical. But I won't proceed with the creation of category. That's it. What we need more, we go to our menu, we go to our blog, and we change the type to Cobalt section list. And we select our blog section here in parameter. So we click Save and Close. That's it. Now let's go to our home and see what happens. So we now see this blog. Let's open it. Oh, I see. This is one of important steps to save the parameters of templates. Let's do it now. Let's open our types first. Let's open type. So what you need actually is only open this and save and close. So I finished with type, save and class, and now I go to section, and I do the same with section. I go to template set, and I make save and close. I finished the same process with the section, so now all parameters are saved. By the way, after you save them, when you create the next section and next type, you don't need to save them anymore, because for this template name, the parameters already saved. You do it only once. So now let's go here and see what how it looks. Okay, now we are on our blog section. Nothing is here. It says register to post a blog, because we set this type to be submitted only for registered users. Let me go to the home page and let me log in. Okay, now I'm logged in. I go inside the section and you see I have small menu with these items. I'll have more items if I create something. So let's now open the form. For the fields like text area, I prefer when it's full form wide. So that's what I was planning to point you, and let me do it now. So let's go to field and let's open it. Not only in the form, I also want it to be wide on the article page. So I want to make the break after label on the form and in the full view, and I want to show label maybe only on the form, because I don't want it, maybe even I don't want it anywhere, so I just hide this label. Save and close. Let's now see the form of submission. So now you can see this wider, it's simpler to enter text and everything. Let's just create our first blog post. By the way, Textaria can understand Markdown, and it's a great way to post something. So let me insert some text I already have, which is sort of Markdown. So and we can save this blog post. People can set metadata and robots and URLs. The special fields available only for administrator. The regular people will not see it, but in the form parameters, you can allow people to access some of these fields. So let's now save this blog post. So the blog post is saved, it's here, it's not a very nice template. Let's change it, or it's not necessary to change it, you can change it yourself. So now you can sort it. In the menu you have another 2 elements, and you will get more as long as you use this section. So let's go inside this record. As you can see, we have our text here, and it's treated as Markdown as well. This is how it's simple to start using Cobalt, and I wish you all the great success using it and creating your dreams with your websites.